It is absolutely amazing what you can learn about what's happening on your Windows 10 system thanks to the Event Viewer. Let's check it out in this Hands-on Lab Nugget. So if you would like to follow along, just click on the Hands-on Lab link on the main course page that's associated with this nugget. Event Viewer is so important when it comes to monitoring performance and troubleshooting Windows 10 systems. Microsoft makes it real easy to get to. If you right-click the Start button, there is an Event Viewer option for you. This, of course, is going to launch the Event Viewer console, and we'll be going through here in a moment. But I wanted to show you real quick by going down to Cortana and searching on Services, the service that's actually making this a reality. If you scroll down in your list of services, you'll see one called the Windows Event Log. Notice this service is currently running, and that's really powering the event logging that we love so much. Let's minimize services because we'll have something to say more about that in a moment. And let's come in here to Event Viewer and notice that there is two main areas of logs. There's Windows logs, and inside here we have applications that are logging event information. There's security settings that are logging. There's the setup of Windows itself that did logging. There's the system of Windows 10 itself, and then we can have devices forward particular events to this system, and if we do that, they would show up here under forwarded events. Now, you may install applications that are also going to be logging information, and those would be under the Applications and Services log. Nothing too much exciting here in our little demo machine, but for instance, on my main production machine, I use Camtasia to create these wonderful CBT nuggets, and sure enough, Camtasia installs a node in here and logs to the Event Viewer of Windows. So that's awesome that other applications can tie into this valuable tool. So let's come up here to the system log under Windows logs, and we see there's a bunch of informational things happening. If you double click, you can get more information. So here we see this event was logged, initiating changes for package blah blah blah, current state is installed, target state is absent, client ID, retail demo service. Oh my goodness, this is clearly something we would have to look up online from Microsoft in order to get more information about it. And notice it's informational. It's probably not all that important, this particular event. And one of the things you might start to worry about is, okay, where are these things stored? And could all this event logging literally take over my hard disk? Well, the great news is, and I'm going to fire up the File Explorer here so I can show you where these logs actually exist. But as we're doing this, let me tell you, the great news is there is a 20 meg size limit, 20 megabyte size limit on these logs. And what will happen is the older events will be overwritten. So it's like a first in, first out system. So old stuff will begin to be overwritten when your log file gets to be that 20 meg in size. If we go to this PC and you go into your local disk and you go to Windows and then System 32, and then inside here, you're going to find a WinEVT folder. So let's look for that. It is right there. So here's the WinEVT and here's the logs. And if we were to double click like Internet Explorer, it would launch that log file in Event Viewer. So it's our Windows System 32 WinEVT logs file where a majority of these are stored. Like I said, you could have applications that are creating their own Windows event logs, and those might be in a different location. Now let's go back to our Event Viewer itself and let's look at something that we can do. So we're on the, let's go to the System Windows log, and notice there's different severity levels in here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's informational, but then we see an error. One of the things that you're going to want to do is be able to filter the current log. And notice that's available for you over here on the right under the Actions pane. So if we go to Filter Current Log, we could immediately say, all right, look, just show me the errors, the critical, and the warnings. These are things that I might be really concerned about. And notice it will filter that view for you. As a matter of fact, if you're going to be doing a lot of this kind of work inside the Event Viewer, you could go in and you could create a custom view. So I'll choose create custom view and I'll say like error, critical, warning, and let's do this for the system log. That's fine. Notice we could choose any of them. In fact, we may even want to do like, how about system and application? So we'll combine those two together. And then we can put keywords in to filter on certain IDs. I will just say OK though, and just give this a name of sample and say OK. And now notice under the custom views node, we have this sample view that we've created, and it's really handy. It's going to be all of those things of like a warning or an error or a critical level from those two logs that we selected. So the custom view is something that you're really going to want to take advantage of inside of Event Viewer. Notice other things that we can easily do from the action menu. I can come here to my application log and I can clear the log. Notice we can save this information to a text file and then clear it, or we can just say, nope, I want rid of it. And now all those application events are cleared. Another important log is the security log. This is so cool. Remember those NTFS permissions that we can set up on our drive? You can literally set it up so that there is auditing of those NTFS permissions. How cool is this? So you could have a folder or a file that you've set strict security permissions on, and you can audit it so that if someone does try and access that folder or file that doesn't have permissions, an event will appear here in the security Windows log. This is a great feature. And again, you could create a custom view just to see those people that are attempting to access stuff they shouldn't. Now, something else that we can do with the event viewer is we can see events from other systems. There's one way to do it, and that is to go up here to your event viewer, to right click and say connect to another computer. So we can connect to another system on our network as long as we have permissions, and we can easily view the event logs on that remote device. But there's another way to go, and that is to do what are called subscriptions. When we click on subscriptions, it says, okay, there's a Windows Event Collector service that must be running and configured. Do you want to start that? So I would say, yes, I want to start that. Remember, we have our services window open. If we go in here, look at this. The Windows Event Collector service is right next to the Windows Event Log. And if we refresh this view, we should see that it's now running because of what we just did inside the Windows Event Viewer. So now what you can do is go and right click and you can create a subscription. This does require Windows Remote Management configured and the appropriate firewall settings that are going to go along with that. But please note that you can literally select the computers that are going to send their events to your local machine. So that's what this event subscription is all about, your ability to see the events locally that are being fed to you from other machines. Now, a lot of times the event is going to be pretty self-explanatory that we see in the event viewer. There's going to be a plain English explanation from Microsoft on what's happening and why the event was caused, but occasionally you might need more information. All you got to do is search on the event ID. Here's an example, the event ID 76, print migration import status. It shows us this is a warning type message, and it will give us more information, including how to resolve and verify that we've resolved the situation that occurred from this event. Ah, yes, the event viewer. How much we use it is really going to depend on how many problems we're having with our Windows 10 system typically, or how much security auditing we're doing. This is a real big reason, as I indicated in this nugget, where we might be leaning on the event viewer heavily. I hope you found this nugget informative, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.